I love video games. Now, that's a given. Just look through all my poorly edited content and you will see that I truly enjoy video games. I started playing video games during this era of gaming. I remember that my stepdad, with the kind heart that he has, gave me his PS2 and I fell in love with it. I would play a lot of Final Fantasy X2 and the critically acclaimed best game, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Little fun fact, I would play GTA when my parents weren't home or with my older sibling because I was never allowed to play violent video games. I played a lot of Naruto games at the time. I could almost bet that I bought every single Naruto Ultimate Ninja game, every Naruto Uzumaki Chronicle game as well. My cousin and my older sibling loved them and they got me into them. But since I played them so much in the past, I don't want to play any other type of fighting game, such as the new Mortal Kombat game or the new Killer Instinct game. To add on, I used to play many Nintendo games as well. My older sibling had a Super Nintendo, a Nintendo 64, and a Game Boy Advance. I would play many games ranging from Super Smash Bros. Melee, Perfect Dark, to Pokemon Emerald, Leaf Green, to Star Fox 64. All truly amazing games if you ask me. If you were to ask me to go back and play them, I will not hesitate unless I don't have the console. Those games were a foundation of my gaming life, social life, and my life in general. Video games helped me cope with many things in the past, and they all have a dear place in my heart. But although that's very touching for me, I look at the new games. Games that I played in the past that have evolved drastically, and I get worried. And I ask myself, socially, do modern video games have an expiration date? Simple answer, yes. But let's dive into the first segment, the DLC or expansion packs. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't stand DLCs. Sure, they have some great content, whether it's Fallout 3's Operation Anchorage or Call of Duty's Mob of the Dead. They are all fantastic. But in hindsight, it's just a dick move to cut out great content and sell it for extra cash. I know, they're companies, so they want money and only money. But that's so sad to be adjusted like that. I don't like that mindset because it makes you another sheep in the herd. But I guess like my little sibling tells me, you're an old head. And well, to that I have to say,
you're goddamn right.
I want to go back to the time where you got all the content on the video game that you purchased, because if you have all the content, you're more invested into the IP. You put in more hours to the game because you have many ways to start and end the game. Rather than just playing the base game for 4 hours, having DLC gives you more hours to grind, more XP, weapons, armors, and potions to earn. This really impacts the games in this modern era because you get many gamers such as myself who don't feel the need to be interested in a half-assed video game. I know the other side of this argument will say, stop being greedy and be happy with what you have, bro. And well, buddy, to put it short, like your IQ, you're an idiot. Why would you settle for less even though you are paying $60? That's a good amount of money to be spending on a video game that's not even finished. And if you add 4 DLCs all priced at $15, you're paying $120, man. That's nearly half the price tag of a PS4 Slim. Think about that next time you tell someone to settle for less. The next thing I want to talk about is the graphics. But before I do, please put away your Chinese assault rifle and any other weapons and hear me out. I love graphics too. I feel like the more immersed you are in a video game that almost looks realistic, the more comfortable you are playing that game. But by God, do I hate loading screens. Do you guys remember the retro Mario game? That's right, no loading screens. Just a screen that tells you valid information such as your life and the stage number. I know you had fun playing that game. You enjoyed the content, whether it was the story, the mechanics, or the feel of the game, without it looking like this.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah.
So why do you have such a throbbing boner for graphics and say fuck all to the content in the game? Sure, sometimes companies know how to balance both. A good example of this is Battlefield, whether it's Battlefield 4 or the recent title Battlefield 1, both having great storylines and they tickle my nipples with how amazing they look. But I hate waiting for matches. I don't mind waiting for a client or a host so we can connect to them and start playing online. But having to wait a long ass time for the graphics to load is absurd. GTA 5 takes the piss when it comes to loading screens. It takes about 4 minutes to load. I could, in time, make myself some food, slap my meat, and take another bump of Heisenberg's Blue Rock, and still be waiting for the goddamn game to load. I'd rather play a video game with atrocious graphics, but with an amazing plot, than a game with nut-bursting graphics and a bland, basic storyline. This leads me to believe that games are starting to turn out more like movies, and less like what they were meant to be. A time waster, entertainment, and a way to escape reality. I don't want to see Brad Pitt starring as the lonesome courier in the next Fallout title. This in general pushes me away, and as well as other gamers away, because we want the content to be first priority and the graphics to be second priority. Connecting it back to my last point, it makes the gaming era of today unappealing, and it reduces many games' life cycle drastically. Because as it stands, it's a half-ass game with 50% of the content trapped behind paywall and with a loading screen longer than my time here on YouTube. So, what's the long answer to my question? Video games in this era have placed a life cycle on themselves with the paywalls, load times, and bland plots. Video games used to be something you can just hop on and play without being so extracurricular, and they would have all the rich content made for them that made them stand out from other forms of entertainment. They put a spell on you that you shouldn't fight against because it grants you a great wholesome time to escape any issue you face in your day-to-day life or simply something you don't have control over. Nowadays, it seems finding a video game worth investing your time on is very difficult. Some games that I have enjoyed from this era are Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Child of Light, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3. In my eyes, these are good games with or without DLC and have a very low loading time and great mechanics to add on, but they will never compare to the OG titles such as Perfect Dark, Naruto Ultimate Ninja, Donkey Kong Country, and the blacked out Killer Instinct. Sure, there are many attributes that you have to recognize and acknowledge in order to justify whether a game does or does not have a life cycle. But it seems that nowadays, the industries only thrive for that, and us as a consumers as well. We thrive for good graphics because if the graphics aren't good, no one's gonna like the game. And if the DLC's not good either, they're not gonna like the game either. But there's one game in particular that I thoroughly enjoy without it having great graphics and without it having DLCs as of yet, and that is Cuphead. Now, hear me out on this. Cuphead is $20, it has great mechanics, great storyline, and the graphics are retrofit, so it makes the game nice. It feels great. It makes you have that nostalgia effect while retaining its attributes of a good story-driven game. And yes, they did announce DLCs, but that's coming in the near future, and I'm not feeling like purchasing those DLCs because as it is, I can play this game with no DLCs and have a great time. Sure, there are some times where I get frustrated and I don't want to play the game no more, but I always come back to it. And that's the life cycle that I'm talking about. I can come back to that game and have the replayability and really enjoy myself once I've cooled off and had my time to breathe. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you didn't. Comment whatever you'd like to comment down in the comment section below. Whether it's Quiet Calf, you don't know what you're saying, or Quiet Calf, I see your point. Whatever works is fine. Other than that, thank you for watching. Have a great day.
Looks like this is just about done.